Hey, this is Drew Page. Welcome to the Drew Page channel. In this video, we are going to talk about the murder trial of a romance novelist who wrote a blog on how to kill your husband, who is now charged with the murder of her husband. If you find this video helpful or interesting, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, hit the notification bell. Thank you so much to all of you who have subscribed to my channel over the last couple weeks. I'm humbled and so grateful for all of you and for those of you who've put in the comments and liked the videos and shown your support, so I certainly appreciate that. But without further ado, I want to jump right into this video. So if you're ever going to commit a crime, you probably shouldn't write about it in advance. I think back to the book that OJ had, If I Did It, Here's How I Did It, or something like that. And, that's always been humorous. Well, in this case, a lady named Nancy Crampton Brophy was a romance novelist, and she actually wrote a blog once in 2011 entitled How to Murder Your Husband. And I'm pulling up here for you to see. I mean, it's meant to be creative, I think, and it talks about, some of the motives behind why you would do this, like financial, lying, cheating, fell in love with someone else, an abuser, it's your profession, and then options to consider. Now, this is what's interesting. It says gun is loud and messy and requires some skill. Knives are really personal and close up. A garret. A random heavy piece of equipment, poison, hiring a hitman's not a good idea because they'll rat you out later. Hiring a lover, never a good idea. And then she says, I find it easier to wish people dead than to actually kill them. I don't want to worry about blood and brains splattered on my walls, and really I'm not good at remembering lies. But the thing I know about murder is that every one of us have it in him or her when pushed far enough. So, interestingly, her husband, Daniel Brophy, was at work, and she pulls up to his workplace, according to the prosecutors in their opening statement, about the time of the alleged offense. And so, she is charged with the shooting death of her husband. Now, the interesting thing is on the first day of court, the judge ruled that that blog is inadmissible. And the reason he did that is under the Oregon Code Rule of Evidence 403, which is the same Rule 403 essentially under the federal rules in most every state. And essentially, evidence is that may be considered relevant is excluded if its prejudicial effect outweighs its probative value. So in other words, if the likelihood of prejudice, bias, inflammatory feelings toward a party because of the evidence outweighs the probative value or the relevant value, the good that it could do in showing or revealing, the case, then it's excluded if the prejudice outweighs the probative value. And that's what the judge ruled, is that because the blog post was done back in 2011, it was a long time ago, and if the jury were to read this, it would likely inflame their passions against the defendant, and they would essentially go ahead and just render a verdict of guilty in their minds before hearing any evidence. And so the judge excluded it. And I can't say the judge is wrong, because based on comments that I've read in the social media posts surrounding this case, everyone who's seen this blog post is like, oh yeah, she's guilty as homemade sin. So, that's why the judge is excluding this evidence. Now, the prosecutor has a responsibility to build a case beyond a reasonable doubt, and they're attempting to do that. So the trial is ongoing. So if anything interesting pops up about the case, I'll be sure to do a video on it and keep you posted. But wanted to make sure to hop on here and explain that evidentiary rule, so you understand that if there's ever a case that you have where there's a piece of evidence that may be relevant, but it may cause the passions of the jury or the judge to be inflamed such that the prejudice would outweigh its probative value, then you should try to have that excluded, so that way they would not be able to hear that evidence. So hope that's helpful for you. If you found that helpful, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, hit the notification bell, and until next time, stay tuned.